Hello, my name is John Felton, and I'm going to talk to you today about something everyone here at the University of Kansas loves, which is basketball. See, here at KU we are lucky because we are a place of basketball tradition, consistent success, and a gymnasium that is known to be one of the greatest places to play around the world. Not only does KU contain this amazing atmosphere to play in, but we simply contain a solid program every year that is ran by the best coaching staff in the country. To have any successful program, a team must contain a smart coaching staff. Any coaching staff can be successful, but the head coach of a basketball team seems to always stand as the leader of the entire program's future. Within basketball, a head coach calls all the shots of what plays a team will run during games and how a team handles pressure situations. But every coach contains their own coaching style that leads their teams to national championships every year. Just like a person's presentation style, every coach contains their own coaching style to get the attention of their team. When a person presents, their number one priority is to gain the attention of their audience to pass on influential information that speaker feels is relevant for the audience to know. Presentation styles are broken up into different categories of how a person presents their information, which we call presentation colors. To review presentation colors, there are 4 key styles and colors that a person can contain within presenting. These colors are green, blue, yellow, and red. Every color contains different attitudes or habits a person contains within their presentation and what they are most comfortable with when presenting. First, we will go over my presentation color, which is green. This presentation style connects to people who are usually perceptive and tell stories well. Their primary goal in speaking is connecting to the audience and ensuring that they feel comfortable with being around them. With green presenters, the audience outlook might be one of their primary goals during the presentation. It is also about connecting with you, the audience, and if we can get you to laugh and relate to us, our presentation will always end up a success. If the green presenting style could connect to any coach's coaching style, it would be Jim Valvano. Jim Valvano was a head coach for 23 years, but is most notably known for his time at NC State from 1980 to 1990. Jimmy V is considered one of the most famous college coaches due to his underdog NC State team, winning 7 consecutive games to win the national championship in 1984. Jimmy V isn't known for just getting his team to win 7 games in a row, but it was his personality on and off the court that gained his fame. With the media and fans, Jimmy V ensured that everyone felt comfortable with him as he was so conversational. With his players, Jimmy V would call them into his office to talk about anything, even if it was not about basketball. With this connection he had with his players, he'd get their full attention in following any of his wild game plans, like fouling in a tie game with 20 seconds left. Even though Jimmy V, in a coaching sense, may have gone way outside the lines in common basketball coaching rules, he somehow got his team to successfully complete these crazy gameplay tactics that many people look to as insane. The blue presenting style is much different from green in the sense the presenter is much more focused on providing statistics and facts, rather than telling a story. Blue presenters often sound intellectual and want to explain their information through numbers, charts, and other intellectual ways of organizing information. Blue presenters are much less conversational as they would rather present through their teachings. When it comes to the NBA, there's one coach that goes by the books of following statistics and statistical game plans. This coaching style of simply relying fully on numbers and statistics is a very tough task, especially when getting a team to buy into specific tactics. Therefore, blue presenting is so tough to portray to an audience as a speaker. It's difficult to get the audience to delve into your presentation when you're listing off numbers or statistical facts. Especially with a basketball team, it is hard to get every member of the team to accept their duties as a teammate when you're solely basing an athlete's performance by a statistic. Most athletes look to statistics as just numbers when they are really becoming the future of improving athletes to their best game time performance. Even though it may be difficult to contain a presenting or coaching style based off statistics, Brad Stevens found the successful way of getting each one of his players to perform best in some statistical category, like rebounding, steals, or three-point shooting. When it comes to people who prefer structural presenting with little to no interruptions, they will most likely fall under the category of yellow presenting. This means that the presenter really prefers a presentation with a structure that has a beginning, middle, and end. If the presentation loses the audience's focus or becomes deviated, the presenter becomes uncomfortable and starts to panic a bit. If you're talking about the yellow presenting style, you're comparing it to a basketball coach. If you are talking about a yellow presenting style and you are comparing it to a basketball coaching style, there's one name out of anyone who stands out within this category. Frank Martin has been a college basketball coach for over 20 years and is most famous for his time at K-State from 2007 to 2012, and his recent national championship run with the University of South Carolina. Frank Martin has been known to run a tight ship for his college basketball teams, and if any players step outside of his structural game plan, he seems to lose his mind. This coaching style and presenting style can become a successful feat if the presenter can follow their game plan from beginning to end. Coach Martin will also run the same defense every game, even if the team is struggling with that specific defensive set. Not only will he stick with the same defense, but he will also run a consistent offense every game as well. He is simply a coach that does not like change in his game plan. This yellow presenting structure is perfect for Coach Martin until his team or the game plan throws him off balance or makes him uncomfortable, just like how a yellow presenter can become rattled if their presentation plan is deviated. Lastly, we're going to cover the red presentation color. Red presenting styles are for people who are creative and who are adaptable and flexible with any situation. Red presenters can care less about what the audience thinks about them, and they continue their presentation even if the audience may not be fully engaged. Red presenters are passionate about what they do, and they will do anything to give their opinion or messages to the audience. If you are talking about a basketball coach that falls under the red presentation style, there's one man that separates himself from the entire pack of college basketball. Bobby Knight might be considered one of the most ambitious, flexible, radical basketball coaches of all time, who fits the red presentation style almost to perfection. Bobby Knight coached for over 40 years and is the most famous for his coaching career at the University of Indiana from 1971 to 2000. Coach Knight was known for being a radical head coach that would scream at his players, or particularly refs, if the game was not going in his way. In one of Coach Knight's most famous games, the coach threw a chair onto the floor after being ejected from the game. Coach Knight could come up with plays on the fly, along with getting his players to believe his game plan through his harsh coaching style. Just like red presenters, Coach Knight was the definition of spontaneous. And even though he may at times seem crazy, this coaching style worked to gain the attention of his team along with the rest of his fans. This coaching style, by the end of his career, ended up putting him down as one of the most famous college basketball coaches of all time. Within basketball, coaching styles are so key in the development and future of a team. Head coaches must contain a different coaching style to develop their players and to get them to believe they can win championships. This large span of coaching styles really does relate to the different presentation styles that people contain when presenting to an audience. Not everyone's presentation styles will be the same, even if they are in the same specified color of presenting. Each color, red, blue, yellow, and each color, red, blue, yellow, and green, put people into specific presenting groups where they learn the strengths and weaknesses of how they present information to an audience. Even though people are put into specific groups for their presentation style, everyone still contains different ways they go about presenting to an audience. This is directly related to coaching styles in basketball, as every coach contains a different type of style or tactic they connect to their team with. A coach might fall under one of these presentation colors, but they will still have different ways that makes their coaching styles unique from the next one. And this is the reason why basketball today is so much fun to watch. Thank you so much.